do this. Next up, we have white commons. After that, it's gonna be white uncommons and then rares and mythics. Scotty, or say,
Yep.
shall I say, Daddy? Can you read first?
Jump Scare, white. For an instant, until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+2, gains flying, and becomes a horror enchantment in addition to its other types. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe that there are any synergies for something just being an enchantment on the battlefield. For my frankly speaking flawed memory, a lot of the Eerie cares about things entering, but this is not going to trigger your Eerie cards just on being cast. I see this just as a fine combat trick. This is a D+ for me.
Yeah, nothing cares about enchantments, I think, or horrors.
It's just flavor.
Yeah. Vote above the chat, guys. Do you want tilted or flat? This is tilted. And this is flat. And this is tilted. D+, it's fine trick, why not? Nothing too special. Possessed Goat. It's a 1 mana 1/1, and for 3, you can discard a card and put 3 +1/+1 counters on this goat. And it becomes a black demon. You can activate it that only once. I mean, I don't know, man. This feels like shit. This feels horrible. This is what? 1 mana 1/1 is bad. 3 mana 4/4 is kind of fine, but you just lost 2 cards to get a 4/4. How is this ever good? I'm giving this a D-, and I don't know why I'm not giving it an F, but I'm not. What do you think, Scotty?
Okay, I'll also give this a D-. If this is the way to enable your reanimation stuff, I really hope there's better alternatives.
Yeah. Didn't we have that transform thing that was a 4/4 and it also drew you a card or something like that? What was that in the Midnight Hunt?
Yeah,
Crimson?
that card is not comparable. It's totally different. Totally different card.
What was
Ecstatic
that?
Awakener.
What was that one?
It's called Ecstatic Awakener for Midnight Hunt.
And it was like a 1/1, right?
There's the 1/1 that sacrificed a creature for 2 and a black, flipped into a 4/4.
And you draw a card.
And you drew a card, yes.
Yeah, okay, that's kind of... Jeez, that's a big difference.
Okay, Acrobatic Cheerleader, 1 and a white, 2 mana for a 2/2. Survival, put a flying counter on it. This ability only triggers once. This seems like a totally acceptable role-playing 2-drop for an aggressive deck. I don't believe it's... So, what's going to separate this card from being like absolute premium aggro versus just like, you need 2 drops because you need 2 drops, is how easy it is to jump in the late game when you draw this on turn 5+. Because playing this out on turn 2 and attacking, sure, that's great. That's pretty strong. That's quite strong actually. Especially if your opponent misses a 2-drop, right? Then you just start bashing in for the rest of the game in the air for 2. That's great. If you can reliably make this fly on turn 5+, I think this is a premium 2-drop. But for now, I think this is just a C for me.
Yeah, nothing special. It's I mean, if this was a 2 mana 2/2 flyer, that's good, right? But it's not broken or anything anymore. Like it's really good. It's actually kind of crazy if yeah, it is really good. Like but for example, we've had like last set and some sets a 2/1. What was it in this set in Bloom Barrow? A 2/1 bird that makes something have hexproof, and it has flash. And it was okay, but it was not like, oh my god, this is a 2 mana 2/1 flyer and it can just attack and kill the opponent. I think we're kinda long. We have developed as a game. I am Magic the Gathering, and we have developed in a nice direction. That direction is flyer is not destruction and win the game. Flyer is not a crazy win condition because it kills the opponent. Because creatures on the ground matter. they kind of they didn't matter a long time ago. So 2 mana 2/2 flyers are not broken, and 2 mana 2/2 flyer that is actually not a flyer until some conditions are met is also not broken. It's not bad though. So I'm on a C- for this one. Fear of Surveillance for 1 and white. It's a 2/2 vigilance, and when it attacks, you surveil 1. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. It triggers... I'm more okay with this than the last one. Like, it triggers your... Its surveil is nice, why not? But it triggers your eerie thing, so why not? So, I kind of like that. It triggers Delirium with surveil, and it's also enchantment and a creature in the graveyard. Man, Delirium is just like... If you get enchantment creature in the graveyard and then land... Possible... Then you just need like sorcery or instant. I'm okay with this. I'm on a C. This is nice.
C for me as well.
Works with everything, but not crazy powerful with anything.
Cult Healer, 2 and a white for a 3 mana 3/3. Has Eerie. Cult Healer gains lifelink until end of turn. The delta on this between a deck that can trigger it consistently and a deck that cannot is pretty massive.
Massive, yeah.
A 3 mana 3/3 is crap. A 3 mana 3/3 lifelink is very good. It's good. It's good. And it's going to be somewhere in between, and how you've built your deck sort of dictates how this is going to be. I think on average, I'm still taking this at a C-. But it can certainly be quite annoying to race or to try to be aggressive against. For me.
Oh, 3/3 lifelink is pretty good. 3/3 lifelink is pretty good. It's nice when you're racing it. Like, not so long ago, we've had like 3/1 lifelinkers, which were not great. It's, yeah. Depends on how aggressive white is gonna be. Like, if you're playing some... This is pretty cool in slower decks, but then you also got the attack with it. So it's like not gonna have lifelink when it blocks. I think this is kind of whatever. I'm okay with a C-, but that's mostly because I think you're gonna activate it a ton of times. Yeah, but it's also not lifelink when you block. That's the huge... It's almost never lifelink when you block. That's the big deal, right? Like, if you care about blocking, gaining 3 life while blocking is huge. That's huge. So yeah, that's a little bit awkward. Hardened Escort for 2 and a white. It's a 2/4. Whenever Hardened Escort attacks, another creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains indestructible until the end of turn. I'm pretty sure, like... Can you just give D+ to me for the Cult Healer? It really depends how much you want to like attack and gain life. 3/3 lifelinker in Ikoria was great, I think. And it had cycling to put counters. I think that was great. Undervalued creature. Let's give this a D+. I mean, it's only on attacks. That's huge. But it is pretty good sometimes. It's actually really good with the equipment that I gave a B- to. Okay, this guy, I think... Chat, how crazy are you for this thing? How many people here are feeling that this is the thing? Because it's kind of shit. But also, if you have 2 of these, then you have 2, 3, 4 indestructibles. So that's not bad. Scotty, what do you think about this? Like, it's a common, so you can get a lot of them. But it also kind of feels shit.
I think it's either the 2nd or 3rd best white common.
This is the 2nd or 3rd best white common?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, explain.
4th maybe? 4th? It's good. What I'm trying to say is it's good. I think this card is good.
You're muted. No, you're not. Okay,
Me?
sorry,
Sure?
you're not. So, why is this that good?
I think this is like the primary way to turn on survival. I think having 4 toughness on your attacker that enables other things to attack invites a double block, but if they can't double block it, if they want to be like, for example, if it's inopportune for them to double block, or we have any sort of combat tricks, etc., which white aggressive decks already naturally want to have, it's good to have extra toughness on something like this, and it can just force your other things through.
But what survival are you enabling?
I mean, even to just jump a cheerleader. Let's just talk about the common, just to jump a cheerleader. I think that's solid. I think that is a solid common base white aggressive plan.
You mean the 2/2 flyer?
I think that's legitimately pretty good.
Huh.
3 power on attacks, 4 toughness. In your white deck that already wants ways to disrupt double blocks. I like it.
It's a 2/4 though. Like, it's also a 3-drop. Like, it's hard to put many 3-drops in the deck. There's almost no good survival.
I'm saying I like it. I'm gonna give it a C.
C?
If it gives you context.
I hope this card is garbage. Because it's if it's not, then it's like... it's probably gonna be pretty aggressive, the set. I don't know, man. I guess there are uncommon things that are good with survival, but I mean, if you're gonna use a trick, you can probably use it on that creature. No?
Yeah, I would say majority of the time. Yeah, but maybe majority as in like 60%. Just a random number.
There are almost no survival 2-drops. There's that 2/2. There's like one that gets you lands. So it's very awkward to combo things with a 3-drop that also has to attack without having great stats.
Okay, here's a test. Here's a useful test, I think. You are a white-based aggressive deck with a decent amount, like, you know, a reasonable amount of survival creatures. Would you rather enable your survival attacks with A, Hardened Escort, or B, Friendly Ghost, which is coming up? I know we're introducing a card we haven't talked about, but I think it's useful to talk about.
Oh, the Friendly Ghost that gives +2/+4?
Yes.
This one. Target creature gets +2/+4. Okay. I think with this one. Because this one enables it right away.
Oh, you like Friendly Ghost better? Okay.
Yes. The Ghost. Like, you just play it and you get. I mean, 2/4 is pretty big. It's like you got a crazy attacking. It's kind of crazy that it's a 2/4. You got that's pretty big creature. Whatever you're doing. Like that definitely triggers survival. Like when it enters the battlefield as well.
I think I agree with you. Which is it's a pretty reasonable knock against Hardened Escort, especially because this deals the extra points of damage afterwards.
But maybe like you don't. Let's say you don't care about survival. Like how bad is it that this is a 2/4 ground creature that makes something else always attack?
I mean, if you're blocking, this card is pretty crappy.
It's also kind of crappy as attacking on its own. I don't know. Nah, I think I'm on a D+ with this. But it could be good in those aggressive decks, like top end. Your 3-drops are top end, maybe. Keep attacking. Like you get 2 of these and they are 3/4s attacking all the time. Like if you're really aggressive, right? Let's say you're like 100%. I mean, if you're 100% aggressive, I'm okay having a lot of 2-drops, maybe 1-drops if they're there, and then having these escorts. Having a couple of them, and they just like make each other. You have 2, they make each other have indestructible. You have 3, you also make each other, all of them have indestructible. So if you're attacking, okay, give it a C-. I mean, if you have a shit ton of 2-drops and like having a ton of these is not bad, right? But
yeah, they actually get better in multiples.
What did you say, Daddy?
They actually get better in multiples.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. But it's a 3-drop in multiples. Hard to double, not that easy to double spell with a 3-drop. Gotta be pretty damn aggressive deck. But then they're really good with enchantment. With that like +1/+1 that also makes something. This can be like if you are the one who is constantly attacking, like it's not that bad on the blocks. But if you're the one that's constantly attacking and you have multiples of these, then this is hard. I don't know how aggressive white is gonna be. Let's start with a C-. What do you think?
I'm gonna see.
Okay.
Living Phone. 2 and a white for 3 mana for a artifact creature. That's a 2/1. When Living Phone dies, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with power 2 or less from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. White is not a primary color for Delirium. Boros, which cares about power 2 or less, is, I think, like a... To call it an aggressive archetype in the traditional sense, I don't necessarily think is true, so I kind of sort of get it. It is really kind of like a build up a board type of deck, in my opinion. But then again, you're having a 2-power creature, then you're losing it to like just replace itself. This card is crap.
This is horrible.
I really don't like it. This is D- for me.
D-? I don't know why I would put this in the deck. I really don't know. I cannot find a reason why this would be in the deck. Like if,
you switch colors late and you need playables.
Yeah. Oh, I don't. That's not the reason. I don't think that's a reason. You'd
rather play an 18th land then?
You're never playing. You never have a deck that has that. Never happens. That's something that I've been saying on some tier lists, but that never happens. Like you never have 18th. You're never picking this over 18th land because there is never a situation if you draft well, right? You don't have to be the best drafter, but if you just draft well, you never have to put a horrible card in instead of a land. You have some other card that is not good, but it's not this, and you just put that card in, and it doesn't always replace itself. Is the problem. Like this would be much better if it drew your card on that, right? And it would be crap if it drew your card on that, right?
Debatable. I think that's much better.
3 mana 2/1. 3 mana 2/1 that draws your card when it dies.
Yeah, I think that'd be an okay 3-drop for some go long shells, splashy go long shells.
Didn't we have a 3 mana 3/2 that drew your card in not that powerful set and it was whatever?
Are you talking about Byway Courier or what?
That's in Crimson WoW. The 3 mana 3/2, the spore, some kind of spore, fungus.
The spore. I remember that.
3 mana 3/2 draw your card. Like that, I think it was Crimson WoW, and it was kind of whatever because it's a death effect, and this death effect is horrible. This is horrible. This is like no matter how many you have in your deck that this hits, it can miss. Spore Crawler, yeah, fungus 3/2. When it dies, draw a card. It was fine, but it has infinitely better stat line. It's not a 2/1. It is a 3/2. That is not even close. That is miles ahead. And it also has a much better effect, which is draw a card, which you always draw. Instead of maybe get something, draw a random card from your deck. So infinitely better stat line for a 3-drop, a much better effect, and it was nothing special. Kind of makes me want to give this an F.
Brave boys give things F.
But I can give it the D-, I guess. I can give it a D-.
Oh, that's a coward. That's a coward's answer.
Okay, F.
Come
F.
on.
I'll give it an F.
Okay, there we go.
Give it an F. Like why the fuck would I play this?
Okay, I'll give it a D-.
What happened here even? I don't get it. Such a conditional effect on horrible stat line. What the hell? Trapped in the Screen for 2 and a white. It's an enchantment with ward 2. And when it enters, you exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment an opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. Oh, that's pretty good. Like ward 2, so it's an enchantment that triggers Eerie. So better in this set than it would be in other sets. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Skill gets rid of anything except the Planeswalker. I'm on a C+ for this one. This is a very nice removal. Doesn't hit kite, so yeah. Very nice removal spell. Beautiful. Eerie. Remember Eerie.
Are we too low on this?
I can see B-. As soon as I said C+, I was thinking it's good chance it's a B-.
I'm gonna give it a B minus because I think the Eerie Clause is actually kind of big. You know, like 3 mana remove something is like a little clunky normally, but 3 mana remove something and synergize with your deck is pretty good. So I'm gonna give this a B minus.
How many good Eerie cards are there in on common? There's in white there is only one, which is Lifelink. In blue there is some. So there's not really that much. It's mostly uncommons. So this is mostly gonna work with uncommons, right? Because uncommons have some really nice effects there. But there's a lot of there's more uncommons in this there's more uncommons now. Okay, B minus. I can go B minus. B minus sounds good.
Okay, Friendly Ghosts. We talked about this a little bit before. 3 and a white for 4 mana for a 2/4 flyer. When Friendly Ghost enters, target creature gets +2/+4 until end of turn. It's a huge buff. You know, that's a buff that will send a creature through. This is a fundamentally aggressive card. I don't want this if I'm trying to prolong the game. I want this if I'm going to be attacking. And also, don't sneeze at 2/4 stat line on a flyer, right? That can get in for damage. Just because it doesn't have more power, you know, doesn't mean it's not going to be okay at chipping in damage. So I think this is fine. I think this is a totally acceptable yet unexciting top end for your aggressive white decks. A C minus for me.
A C minus? I kind of really like this.
You know what? I give the other one. I'll give a C. So, literally a C. C for me. Friendly Ghost.
I don't know. I really like this. Yeah, no mention of Casper. That's not nice. I mean, 2/4 is huge stat line. Like, something is getting in. If you get Survival, that's great. If you don't, that's still great. Like, something is... This is dealing damage on enter the battlefield. But it's also... It is also not that good when you're behind, right? I think I'm fine with a C plus here. I'm on a C plus. I think this is gonna be a very good desirable 4-drop. It also like continues attacking as a 2/4 in the air. Triggers survival, works with less than power 2 or less. I think this is good. I think this is very, very good. I mean, but it's a 4-drop. How many 4-drops can you put in the deck? That's the problem. Because the next one feels better.
I think for your survival decks, Friendly Ghost is better than Unsettling Twins.
Yeah. This is the unsettling... Wait. It's better than what?
I think for your aggressive decks, Friendly Ghost is better than Unsettling Twins.
What is that unsettling?
Unsettling Twins is the next card.
Aha, the twins. Okay, next one. Let's keep it at C+. I think it's gonna be real nice. But this one is great. It's Unsettling Twins. For 3 and a white, it's a 2/2. And when it enters the battlefield, you manifest Dread. Like, that's really good. At least a C+? What do you think, Scotty?
Yeah, this card's good. I like it as a C+. Pretty close to B-, frankly. Yeah. Like, just to reiterate on our opinions about Manifest Dread, it's powerful. Like, the chance to hit a creature is... It's hard to describe it as, like, high, right? Because it's such a vague word. But it's so much better than just taking the top off the live. Just taking the top off. So you get a 2/2, and then you get, like, a difficult to block or interact with card. That can be a flyer, right? It gives you additional velocity through your deck for your late game threats. You know, you can breeze past your 2-drops if you know, and take like for a 4-drop that has evasion. Anything like that. Manifest Dread is just a powerful mechanic. So I like this a lot. Oops.
And it's nice that something goes in the graveyard. But if you have 15 creatures, there is a 61.5% chance to hit a creature there. Which makes it very irritating to block. It makes it so irritating. Like, you never know. This is gonna, like, you're expecting it's not gonna be some big creature. Like, what is the chance they get a 5-drop or a 6-drop or something? But it can happen. Close to B- as well. Emerge
from the cocoon. Or emerge from the cocoon. 4 and a white for a sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. You gain 3 life. Common is very important to note for this, right? Which means for the archetype of white-black, which is the primary reanimator archetype, you can reliably get these. This falls into the category, in my first opinion, of a card that no one else wants, so you can wheel, right?
Yeah.
No one else wants this card, so you can reliably wheel this card if you want it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can rely on that in the beginning of the draft, that you can at least see some by pack 3, by the end of pack 3, which is important to be at a common. I don't think anyone else wants this card. I think this card sucks for everybody else. So this is a D for me. And I even take it as a D, even in Orzhov, because I know I can get them later. So it's a D.
So why do you care about this in Orzhov?
So what I don't know is how easy it's going to necessarily be to bin your big stuff. But if you can turn 5, like the stinking 7-drop, that's quite strong. And to be honest, I don't even hate turn 5ing a land cycler.
Wait, what do you mean? That's
not great, but it's fine.
Wait, what do you mean 7-drop? How are you getting the 7-drop?
I mean, like, you can manifest or you can surveil it. It's not easy.
Oh,
it's
come
not
on.
Easy. Or you could goat it. Come on.
Come on, man. Like that's
Come on.
Yeah, you're come on. It's gonna be it is that's orders of 7-drop. So it's gotta be like. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's not ending. That you have no consistent way of putting that in the graveyard, right?
It's going to be inconsistent, yes.
It's gonna be extremely inconsistent, like extremely. So is this even better in Orzhov than anywhere else?
I still think it is.
But for what reason?
I guess in terms of actually getting to the cards to the graveyard. Not necessarily, but I do anticipate your Orzhov deck can load up on the high end of the curve in anticipation of casting stuff like this, gaining some life to stabilize, and then just playing big beavers from then on out. Let's say you have an Orzhov deck, you have 3 or 4 land cyclers, right? Not the greatest, but maybe you can afford to do that because the life buffer on stuff like Emerge the Cocoon. So you can just, from turn 5, start playing big beavers from then on out.
But you can also do that in any color. Every color has a land cycler.
That's true. And black doesn't have any discard at common, if I'm not mistaken.
White?
Black doesn't have any so like, what does black give Orzhov, right? It doesn't give any discard outlets at common. It's
Yeah, I
only
don't
the
think it
goat
does.
at common between Orzhov. It's only the goat.
Yeah. Like actually there's a green uncommon which green has more cyclers, right? On uncommon. There is that card that like for you can discard it. It's like it's a 9/9 or something.
Black has a common discarder. My bad. It actually curves quite nicely into this.
Oh, you mean a 4-drop that makes you discard 2 things and opponent discards? But that's also a 4-mana 2/2. No?
Yes, that card's reasonable.
Yeah? Isn't it a little bit stinky?
I think it's reasonable.
Yeah,
I mean, you get a little bit of selection. You get to like pitch something if you would like to reanimate, and a tiny bit of value. The body stinks.
The body really stinks. I'm on a D for this one. What do you give it?
I gave it a D as well.
Yeah, because it's so easy to get. Like it's a common. You if you need this, you're gonna get it. No problem. It's also kind of not bad if you get some 4-drop, 3-drop, because you are getting the additional 3 life. So that's kind of nice. Fear of Immobility. For 4 and a white, it's a 4/4 enchantment creature. When it enters, step up to 1 target creature. If an opponent controls that creature, put a stun counter on it. Cool. But if you control it, then you get survival if you needed it. So basically, this is a 4/4 enchantment creature that taps your opponent's creature and puts a stun counter on it. Now, how good is that? It's not bad. It's not bad. It triggers Eerie. And I guess you can tap your survivor, yeah, if you need that. But most often, you're tapping the opponent's creature. So that's not bad at all. I'm okay with this. I'm gonna see. This is a good 5-drop, but it's a 5-drop. You cannot put too many of those, I think. But it also kind of gains you life, right? So it's a 5-drop that does gain you life, or it can make you attack better. Because like when you tap something big or anything that can attack, you are gaining life effectively. But it's also better than gaining life because you have more attacks.
I like this card a lot. It's a 5-drop, so I think this is a C+.
It could be a C+.
I was pretty close to a B-. But this isn't a much better color than its predecessors that we're comparing it to. Like because this color can beat down a lot better than blue can. So I like this a lot more here. And this just does enough bridging. The only knock against it is it being a 5-drop. So I'm giving this a C+.
Okay, I can see it being a C+. Ooh, this one is cool.
Grand Entryway and Elegant Rotunda. Grand Entryway is 1 and a white for 2 mana. Elegant Rotunda is 2 and a white for 3 mana. Grand Entryway is when you unlock this door, create a 1/1 white Glimmer enchantment creature token. Elegant Rotunda is when you unlock this door, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. As we noted before, Grand Entryway triggers Eerie twice because the room itself is an enchantment, and when you unlock a room, we're absolutely incorrect.
What?
We're absolutely incorrect about that.
What?
No, we are correct.
You are correct.
It's not about unlocking the room. It's about creating the 1/1. It's about creating the 1/1 Glimmer. We're correct.
Yeah.
Hold on. It's not 3 times Eerie, it's 2 times. Eerie only counts fully unlocking rooms. So it is just twice. 1 for the enchantment entering initially, and 1 for the enchantment entering from the Glimmer token. It does not get a trigger off of the first room unlock. But you can, however, get a trigger off of unlocking Elegant Rotunda after Grand Entryway.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. We sorted it. Rule.
It's
Read
3
it.
triggers.
Reading.
It's 3 triggers.
Great.
Fully unlocking, playing the room, and the 1/1 Glimmer. Yeah, it's 3 triggers.
Yeah. I think this ties a lot of stuff together to the point it's quite powerful. It is a little expensive, right? But I feel like you can spend this amount of mana in increments to get minor effects. The interesting thing is, how much do you necessarily want Elegant Rotunda specifically in a deck that wants to be triggering its Eerie? We'll see how aggressively leaning or how much you can leverage those +1/+1 counters. But honestly speaking, even if you're trying to defend yourself, +1/+1 can make your blocks way better. So I'm not even against it there. I think this is the best white common. I think this is the best way. I think this is a B-.
Yeah, I'm also a B- at least. This might be the best white common. Like, it's not that bad if you don't have any effects with it, but I think you are gonna have good effects with it. Okay, some really cool interactions to this one. You're playing Orzhov. You play a 4 mana 2/5 that gets lifelink and +2/+0 for Eerie. And then you play this. And then that guy is what? That guy is a 9/6 lifelinker. For you play this on turn 5, do that. You put a +1/+1 counter somewhere else. You're attacking with a 9/6 lifelinker. Another interesting interaction is that you can attack with a 9/4 red 4-drop, which when it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. So those are kind of cool interactions. Those are both uncommons, not white, but they're pretty cool. But then you also have a white, because I'm talking about uncommons, because the power of Eerie kind of comes through mostly on the uncommons. There is a 1-drop in white that we're going to get to soon, that whenever, for Eerie, you put a +1/+1 counter anywhere. So this is going to be like, make a 1/1, put 4 +1/+1 counters somewhere. Oh, 5. No, put 5 with that. So yeah, this can get crazy with a lot of things. And the floor is fine. You're making a 1/1 and putting some counters. So the floor is fine. It's not great, but it's fine. Yeah, B- like best white common. Next, Seized from Slumber for 4 and white. This spell costs 3 less to cast at instant speed. If it targets a tapped creature, destroy target creature. Alright, 5 mana, pretty bad, but doable. 2 mana, that's fine to kill a tapped creature at instant speed, so This is one of the better ways to do this. The floor is also 2+3 mana, so it's not really 5. It's 2+3. It's fine. It's like a D+. It's not that bad of a removal spell. What do you think, Scotty?
Yeah, I think this is totally solid as your quote-unquote clunky removal spell that, frankly speaking, becomes premium if in your defensive white decks.
Yeah. What do you give it?
I'll give it a C.
A C?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, white has pretty good
It's a
removal,
little
I
low.
think.
I can do C+. I'm pretty close to C+ on it.
C+ on this one? What the fuck?
What? You wanted to go lower?
I gave it a D+.
Ah. Well, that's wild. Okay.
Wait, what did you write for me?
I didn't write anything for you because I didn't hear you say D+.
Oh, okay, D+, yeah.
I'm way closer to C+ than I am to C- here.
I can go to C-, because 2 mana is really nice. I go to C-. This is a fine removal spell, but it's also clunky. C+, wow.
I'm on a C, by the way.
Okay.
Shepherding Spirits, 6 mana for a 4/5 flying spirit. Has plane cycling too. Unexciting. I don't think so this is something that needs to be iterated to a particular generation of Magic players who have been playing for like around the time I've been playing, which is like I don't know, like 10 years ish. Plane cycling 2 is not, or cycling for 2 is bad. It's bad. It's not good anymore. It's too slow. It's too slow.
Too slow.
And just because like I have the flexibility of a quote unquote bailout mode for 2 mana, it's not much of a bonus. So 6 mana, 4/5, whatever. It's a whatever card. And plane cycling 2, whatever. This is overall I think this is whatever. This is a D+ for me.
Why don't we get the 1 mana? Like it's so good when you get the 1 mana cyclers. It's such like a little skill check for people. 1 mana plane cyclers, the bell, like things like that. That cost 1 mana to get another land. But yeah, this is something easy to reanimate, right? You're paying 5 mana for 4/5 flyer that gained you 3 life, but also you had to pay 2 mana to get a planes, so No, Bell is not a 2 mana cycler, because you pay 1 mana on turn 1 and you get a land right away. That's the big deal. Is like you get that land. I'm not. Why do you give it like this? Not good.
D+.
Oh, I'm on a D. I don't care about this.
Okay.
All right, on to the white uncommons. How do the white commons look to you, Scotty?
The white commons. There's a decent chunk of white common space taken up by cards that kind of look crappy, unless survival aggro is like a totally happy thing to be doing, right? They don't look great on their face. They look like synergy aggressive cards, which are frankly speaking historically hard to evaluate. Synergistic aggressive cards. I mean, think back to Theros Beyond Death or whatever, the 1-drop Pious whatever, the 1/2 that put +1/+1. It's difficult because it's a synergistic aggressive card. And these ones I think fall into the same vein. Friendly Ghost and Hardened Escort come to mind specifically as cards that don't look impressive, but may play out way better than they look. So frankly speaking, like I don't even think it's a wait and see scenario. I think those cards are just totally fine. They're just for their specific decks. Find your lane, draft the cards, you'll be happy to have them.
You mean like the white commons, or the ones that? Wait, which ones do you mean?
Yeah.
What?
I'm talking specifically about the ones that look like they're for the survival aggressive archetypes, which is Hardened Escort and Friendly Ghost.
Ah, yeah. I don't think that you care too much about that. I think survival is not gonna be like a real thing unless you get uncommons. Because the commons.
I'm not even saying survival. I'm just saying an aggressively leaning white deck. Like, who cares about, like, sure, I misspoke.
Mm-hmm.
Aggro white. I think those cards will play out better in aggro white than they look.
Yeah. But they're not going to be great in non-aggro white.
Yep.
That's the thing. So we're going to see.
Which hurts. So if you want to take a step, if you actually want to sit down and talk about it.
Yeah.
I think white is how they want to design limited. There's specific cards for like specific types of archetypes, right? And they don't necessarily want just like all the commons to be great in all the white decks, because then you get an overpowered deep color. I think that's what they're aiming for. I think they're aiming for this style of white, right? And in the past, we've said, oh, white is plagued by all the commons pulling you in different directions. I kind of think that's what they're going for different colors. They just haven't been super successful all the time. And that's how we end up with like, oh, obviously the best color, obviously the best color, obviously the best color. But I really do think that they're trying to aim for more synergistic common slots that you have to be rewarded to find your lane.
Yeah, what Organic Chicken said. They forget that philosophy. I was thinking about it. They forget that philosophy when they get to green cards, though.
Yeah, and then they're all just good, and then the colors is phenomenal.
But I think, you know, I'm actually happy with that, right? It's like, when green is good, it's not that oppressively good that, oh, now you cannot play other colors. That's like, that basically never is true. But it is, in the past, I don't know, last 10 years or something, there's been so many times where green was garbage, when it like had a bad fight spell, and the creatures were nothing, and it didn't have any card draw or any late game, but it also was not good at aggression, so it was like good at nothing. So many times green was like, oh, it's kind of, every other color does it better. This is just like, whatever cards. So when green is really, really good, I don't know, it's, other colors are always also playable. Because green is not oppressively, almost never, it's almost never oppressively aggressive. Right? Like, oh my god, now you cannot play slow decks. But a lot of times, like, it has good splashing and good ways to play slow decks, but other decks kind of keep it in check. Because when you're, like, it's, I don't know, it's, I think it's a good place for Limited to be that green just has all the good cards. Because it doesn't have the broken, like, fast starts most of the time, it doesn't have the broken card draw for late game. So, yeah, being a good all-arounder seems fine. But it feels to me like with white, what they're doing, what you said, right? You said that it's, they want all the colors to be like a little bit torn. So like some cards are good in a slower deck, some cards are good in a faster deck, and then it's kind of weird, you don't know which one to take. I'm not sure, because I don't like that. Like every time you have a color like that, or a color pair, like Izet in a long time ago, I mean, I guess just 5 or 6 years ago, in Guilds of Ravnica, where half of the cards are slow, half of the cards are fast. That does happen in white a good amount of times. And what usually happens, I think, is that the slower cards are shit, and you just don't play them. Because white doesn't really have the best late game most of the time. So, I don't know. I don't know. Every time I'm speculating on slow white decks, but it doesn't work. Actually, in BLB, I was fine with slow white decks. But I also always had good early game. Because of the Carrot Cake, because of the Builder's Talent, because of all the card draw enchantments that were kind of bad for most decks, were really good in that Celestia. So, but it's always some hidden thing that was not really thought that it's gonna be great. I don't know. I really want white slow cards to be pretty damn good, because it always feels like it's gonna be very interesting to build a good white slow deck, but then all the early game cards are not good at a slow deck. Like, what early game card is good at a slow deck in white?
The 5-mana removal that you don't like.
That's not an early game card, that's just a removal spell. I mean early game proactive card.
Oh, proactive, okay.
You just play it without responding.
There's none.
There's none, and it's always like that. Oops. How do I even do this? What the fuck? Okay, why does it do that? It's stupid. So, sorry about it, guys. So, that's the problem, right? If you give white some slower cards, but you don't really give it anything that's good to play in those early turns, for those slower decks, it kind of usually leans to, I'm not ever playing these cards in my white deck, like reanimate cards and shit like that. So back Wall of Omens, fuck yeah, that's what, 2 mana 0/4 draw card.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a common.
No. I'm saying bring it back at common.
Bring back at common. Yeah, like I kind of want all colors to have a possibility of being slow, where maybe it's very hard to get there, and then I always love it. That's why I like green most of the time, because you can splash and you can be slow. All right, let's go to the next one. You want to say anything about this, Scotty?
Nope.
Like,
Except cookies.
what do you prefer? Like, aggressive decks or slower decks?
Okay, I made a hot take the other day. I'm going to stand by it. I think proactive 1-drop shouldn't exist in Magic. I'm off it.
Proactive 1-drop creatures?
I'm off it.
I think they're fine if they're not good at
Miner's
attacking.
Guidewing, out.
What do you say?
Miner's Guidewing, out. 1 mana, 2/1s, out.
Yeah, 1 mana, 2/1s,
Get rid of
I'm
them
okay with that being out. But last set didn't really have 1-drops that are crazy, right? Last 2 sets.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
want
that's
all
great.
my 1-drops to be more utility. But all the aggressive 1-drops, Kumano faces Kakazan, out. Don't want to see it.
And I think they did that. Like, we don't really see 1-drop. There were a couple of sets where 1-drops were crazy, and then that kind of sucked. You never could. The slow decks had like 5 1-drops or 3 1-drops or something. Right? They kind of went away from that. And I think
Recently,
that...
yeah.
Yeah, what do you say?
No, I'm agreeing. I'm just nodding my head verbally.
And that's the reason why you see a comeback of slower control type decks that with great late game, which is pretty cool because you couldn't play them for a long time. For there was like 1 or 2 years where it was very hard to play those. Maybe 1 set every 5 sets or something. Well, next up we have uncommons in white, and as basically always, there's a huge jump in power level. Like uncommons are not a long time ago, the uncommons were fine. They were just a bit better or a little bit more complex. But now, uncommons are much more powerful than commons. And let's see if that is the case in Duskmourn, House of Horror. Ethereal armor for a white. You get enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control and has first strike. Oh shit! Is this a reprint?
This is a reprint, yes.
Is it a functional reprint?
No, it's an exact reprint.
Oh, it's an
Ethereal Armor
exact.
is a pauper staple.
Yeah, this is... I mean, this is crazy for any kind of Vestige deck. And for that lifelinker. Yeah, like they must have removal for this. It is a little bit scary, of course. It is a little bit scary because they can 2-for-1 you. But you can also just put this on a random 1/1 and kill them. Yeah, like this is... It's also they need a removal spell now. Because they're gonna get wrecked in this set. So this is like a B. A B? A B plus? What do you think, Scotty?
I was on a B-. It's very good, but it is an aggressive card, so it's for one particular archetype. Well, not even so, right? Let's say you're a slower blue-white enchantment-based deck. Slap this on your flyer, 2-turn clock. That's pretty good.
Also,
Someone's
put this
B-
on your lifelinker if you need some life back. Huh?
Yeah, that's good. I'm just not quite as high.
There are no
It's
hexproof
extremely
creatures, I
fun.
think. There's Kaito.
No. There's no ward creatures even? Are there ward creatures?
I don't remember.
Like at below rare?
I don't know. But, I mean, you can just put this on a 1/1 and it's gonna be a huge threat. Now they gotta kill that 1/1. And you just paid 1 mana and that creature. I mean, it's just 1 mana in a set like this. Where I think this is gonna be like a +3/+3 first strike. Easily. And then even more. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna B. Give this a B from me. I think this is gonna be crazy powerful. And oppressive. And very oppressive. This card makes me think like, oh, you gotta have removal. And next one is better, I think.
Optimistic Scavenger. White for a creature, human scout. It's a 1/1. Eerie. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Yeah, this snowballs. This is a snowball. This is a snowball. This is a little rock that you then push down a hill, and it becomes a gigantic avalanche by the end of it, and will ruin everybody's day. And you'll have a lot of fun, and your opponent won't have that much fun. This card is excellent. I would take this really early. I'm going to put this at a B.
Yeah, I'm gonna B as well. This is crazy. This fucked.
I hate this card. Out of here.
Yeah. This is the one. This is the one. But it's uncommon, so I guess it's fine. Good thing it's we had some sets that have common crazy one drops, but it's crazy. It's like 1 mana. Fuck yeah, man.
This attacks for as a 3/3 if you just play the stupid common.
Yeah. And then next turn, it attacks as it can attack as a 5/5.
Yeah. What the heck? What's wrong with this? I hate this.
All right.
Unprint this.
It needs a little bit of help. I mean, it's crazy. It's also enchantment set. We had Generous Visitor in, and it was really powerful, like Generous Visitor, right? I think maybe Generous Visitor was better in that set. Nah, there's more enchantment in this set, I think. I don't know, because every single enchantment got back. I know you have 2 rooms now, but every single enchantment came back as an enchantment creature, and then you got... No, it was on cast. The Generous Visitor was on cast. Nah, this is better probably in this set than the Visitor was in the other one. And Visitor was crazy powerful in Neo Kamigawa. Shard Mage's Rescue for a white flash enchant creature you control. As long as this thing entered this turn. It's so weird to not say enter the battlefield. It is so weird, man. Enchanted creature has hexproof. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. Okay, this thing with Eternal Armor, and you won. Did you win? Did you win most of the games?
High. Yeah, most of them. Yeah, absolutely.
We're still saying ETB. No. Now we're saying E. It's true.
That was a good one.
But yeah, I mean, Shard Mage's Rescue and the Eternal Armor, I think if you have them in your hand, you won the game almost always. That touch is gonna be important keyword, man. Green has that touch. Green is doing it. Green has good protection. What do you think about this? I think it's... I mean, it's nothing that special. It does trigger Eerie, so that's cool. I don't know, a C-?
I'm way higher on this card.
C?
This is such a big tempo play. I'm gonna C+.
Why is this a tempo play? I mean, I guess it gives you Eerie and it can
This is just so much better than Dive Down in a color that's better for it. Or Shore Up, sorry. This sticks around. It's a +1/+1 like
counter.
Just
It's
stays
only
there.
1 mana,
Normally
I
buffs your
guess.
creature.
But it's also
And it's so efficient. It's so easy to just leave up.
Yeah, I'm okay with the C+. I'm okay with the C+. Leave up or just... Like, do you always win combat with this when you attack? For 1 mana, you're probably double spelling. Yeah, C+. If you double spell, yeah, I can see C+ here. I mean, yeah, this is just like... It is just a Snakeskin Veil that gives you Eerie. Okay, next up. What the fuck are these one drop things? Uncommon 1-drops. What the hell is going on?
Wait, they're all... Oh, no, there's just 5 of them.
No, look at this. 1, 2,
Unwanted
3,
remake.
4, 5, 6... No, 5.
5, yeah. Unwanted remake. White for a instant. Destroy target creature. Its controller manifests dread. That player looks at the top 2 cards of their library. Oh, sorry. It's just manifest dread. But your opponent is the one manifesting dread. So they're the ones getting the graveyard synergy. They're the ones choosing the creature. They're the ones that has a tough creature to interact with. It's a 1 mana instant. So they've done a very good job of trying to push this horrible magic card and make you think about it because it's really efficient to leave up. I think this is a D-. I think this is still horrible, but it is efficient. It is good efficient.
It's
mono wise.
I think it's unplayable.
Okay.
I'm on an F. I don't think this is a playable magic card. For 0 mana. I think this is unplayable for 0 mana. In limited. 0 mana. If this is 0 mana. What do you think about that, Scotty? What grade would you give it for 0 mana?
I don't agree with that, and I don't want to argue about it.
What if it gains
It's
you
bad.
mana? If it gains you, it's -1. I think
Okay,
it's
we're being a little ridiculous now.
I think
We're
it's
being a little
unplayable
ridiculous.
if it gains you 1 mana.
If it gives you a treasure token.
Maybe it goes to D- then. 0 mana
Oh
and it
my
gives you
goodness.
treasure tokens.
I'm not having this conversation. I'll give it an F just to avoid this conversation. Let's go on.
Actually, it's pretty good. Like then. Okay.
It's very good.
Okay, we played with Black Locust to Slotus Petal.
Veteran
Okay.
Survivor. White for a human soldier. It's a 2/1. Survival. Exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. As long as there are 3 or more cards exiled with Veteran Survivor, it gets +3/+3 and has hexproof. Yeah, this needs a ton of help. This needs like you need to like assist. This you really need to assist this. Because this is not getting it through once. This is getting it through 3 times.
But
a
wait.
1 mana 2/1, bad. Like it's pretty bad. A 1 mana 2/1 in this day and age. Even in like your hyper aggressive decks, like I would prefer a 2-drop that I would prefer the Cheerleader, for example, than a 1 mana 2/1. So you really do need to be pushing this through consistently with something like the Escort, right? The 3 mana Escort common.
I mean, how do you even
And
fucking
even
exile something on turn 2 from the graveyard?
I mean, you don't. It's slow. It reads shiny. It reads fancy, but I don't think it'll ever play out like that. It'll play out as a 1 mana 2/1, like 95% of the time. So I think this card is bad. I think it's a D.
I think it's 2/1 with text that maybe it removes something from the opponent's graveyard. But it's a 1 mana 2/1. Like that's not that bad. You think that 1 mana 2/1 is really bad?
I think a 1 mana 2/1 is bad.
But it trades with 2-drops. I mean, it's not that bad. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a D+. It's maybe a C- even. I don't know. It's fine, but there are these 1/1s sometimes lying around in some decks, so that kind of makes it much worse. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. It's a 2 mana 2/1. That's about it. 1 mana 2/1. That's fine. Maybe it's better. Like maybe you just really want 1-drops, so that's like a C- C then. I mean, I can even pick this as a C-, just because like you put a 1 mana 2/1 in your deck. I don't know. Give it a D+.
Give me a C-.
D+ is okay.
Okay. I'll also give it a D+.
Exorcise. For 1 and a white, exile target artifact, enchantment, or creature with power 4 or greater. Sorcery. Okay, any artifact, any enchantment, that's a good amount of creatures already, and then any big creature. Sorcery really kills it, but it still does. I guess it doesn't kill it, it just beats it up a little bit. That's pretty good. I think I mean, it's really bad to kill a door, but I guess sometimes you can do that. It's mostly here for creatures, I think. And enchantment-based removal. Probably not worth killing the doors, yeah. They got 1 effect already. It still hits so much. I'm gonna see. It hits so much, but sorcery speed. I wish it was instant.
I'll go slightly higher to C+.
Okay.
It's a nice card. I think this will mostly just hit what you want to hit. Orphans of the Wheat, 1 and a white for a 2/1. Whenever Orphans of the Wheat attacks, tap any number of untapped creatures you control. Orphans of the Wheat gets +1/+1 for until end of turn for each creature tapped this way. What happened here?
What?
This card sucks, doesn't it? This card is bad. Okay, so it's a 2 mana 2/1, not very good. And then you have to tap full creatures to give it +1/+1. What am I missing here? Like, oh yeah, like it can. I don't really care that much about enabling survival.
It does enable
certainly
survival,
not for like. What'd you say?
It does enable
Oh, it does.
survival.
Yeah, I mean, it does. it does. It does that. Wow. I thought there was more. This is like a this is like a D for me.
I mean, they're pretty good green uncommons, right? That the two green uncommons make extra creatures.
So you can enable survival the turn you play the survival creature, which is actually kind of nice. That's actually legitimately quite good.
So that's kind of
okay. You know what? So you know what? I'm under. So here's what I'm missing. Let's say survival doesn't exist. You just tap your summoning sick creature for an additional +1/+1, right? Whenever when you're curving out, which means that you're not getting attacked back, right? It's pretty hard defensively, but that's not the absolute worst. It's like a weird vehicle. It's like a mount, right? It's a mount. +1/+1 mount. Let's go. So I suppose that's better than I'm giving it credit for. I'll go up to C-.
I mean, in the right deck. So there is also, we're gonna see it soon, a white 4-drop that has survival at the beginning of your second main phase. If that card is tapped, like survival obviously, you return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand. So, so it does survive with that, right? If it trades. There's also a 3-drop that makes 1/1s in white. There are these two green creatures that make a 5-drop that makes 3/3s out of lands. And then there is a 3-drop that manifests Dread with survival. So with some uncommons, this can do shit. I think it's fine. Like, if it's a 2/1, like it's gonna trade like maybe you just wanna attack a lot, so that's not that bad as well. I think it's good. I think this is good. I'm gonna be a C+.
Oh my. All right.
I think it's actually good. Like, I think in those decks it's really good, but then with higher ceiling than a C+. But then also, if you're attacking, it can be pretty big. Like, it can be pretty big if you don't care that much about blocking. I can see that. I think it's gonna be fine, but it really it does require a right place. What do you mean maybe it's better with rares? I mean, uncommons, you get like what, 5-6 uncommons per pack? That's more of those. I think this is gonna be fine. Maybe C.
By Ghost.
Get it down to a C. Get it down to a C. But I think it's gonna be fine.
Sheltered by Ghosts. 1 and a white, 2 mana total for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature you control. When Sheltered by Ghosts enters, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls until Sheltered by Ghosts leaves the battlefield. Enchanted creature gets +1/+0 and has lifelink and ward 2. Wild. That's a wild effect. So it's a little scary to be putting this on a creature because you're like, oh no, I'm gonna get 2 for 1. But the effect is very strong. The board, how the board looks after you cast this spell, is vastly changed. This vastly changes the combat step that you're in for only 2 mana, which means it's prime double spelling territory. So this is a big. If you see this as a tempo play, it's a big tempo play, like one of the best cards for that we've seen in a long time. So I could see having merit and not seeing this as like, oh, I'm not counting this as a hard removal spell in my defense, like in my slower, quote unquote, slower white decks that may or may not exist. But in an aggressive deck as a tempo play, this is huge. This is so painful. To the point, I think this is just a B.
What if this was a +1/+1 without lifelink?
I think that would be a better card. Well,
Yeah.
No. Lifelink is huge. Lifelink is big. Like sometimes you race.
I think it would
Except
be a
it's rare.
better card
Okay.
for that tempo.
It would be much worse on a flyer, any sort of evasion.
Yeah. On a much worse on a flyer, yeah. I mean, it's also, man, I don't know about this. It's like when that creature dies, This gonna suck. Oh, what
you
if you
like,
put this on ethereal armor creature? Ethereal armor.
Did you like that Did you like that 4 mana one from Shadows Remastered? 4 mana +2/+2, similar effect.
The 4. Wait, you mean the 4 mana +1/+1 and destroy something?
No. It was 4 mana, put it on a creature, gave it +2/+2, exile a creature they controlled until it left the battlefield.
When did we have that?
Shadows Remastered, I think.
I think it was good. But you can
It was a huge
also like
beating. It was an aggressive card, but it's a huge beating.
yeah, but you could like really make some impossible attacks then. This one is like you gotta put it on a flyer probably. Like if you put it, you can put it on a huge creature, but then that's a little bit fucked. I don't know, man. How much do you care about lifelink? Like, oh, this is hard. This is so hard. The problem with two formats, like that creature is a super high priority now. Super high priority. And if it was +1/+1, then like you can still continue attacking through a lot of threats. But this one you can attack through exactly the same things. Do you want to put it on a flyer? I mean, sure, it's lifelink. This card is good or game losing for you. Like it's really powerful or horrible. I think that's how it's gonna be. And it is so inconsistent if it's gonna be the first or the second. Like you have no idea. Right?
I think this and Ethereal Armor fit into very similar.
I don't know. I
It's
think
like a
Ethereal
huge swing of a combat.
I don't think so. Like Ethereal Armor you put on a random 1/1 a lot of times. And then when they kill it, you're like, hell yeah, this is fine. But if they don't kill it, you kind of just run over and fuck them up. Like they just use the removal on a random 1/1, which I think you're gonna have. Oh, man. What do you give it, a B?
I give it a B.
I don't know. I would so much rather that this just targets a land. I think that would be better. I can see this like being better than what I'm gonna give it. Than the grade I'm gonna give it. You kind of want to put this like on a random stupid 1/1, but then that's like a 2/1 lifelinker, which is kind of whatever. Yeah, Fate Unbroken gives stats, like real stats, and then now that's a problem. Like this doesn't help you close out the game faster. With this +1/+0, doesn't really help you much. The +2/+2 helps you quite a lot. I'm on a C.
Maybe talk down to B-.
I'm on a C+. I mean, it's probably good, but I don't know. Like the thing is, can still be removed with anything that could have removed it before. It just like costs more.
I mean, so. I mean, like half the removal in each color is like the quote unquote clunky removal, right? It's gonna totally price those effects out once they hit 5 mana. There's always like a 5 mana clunky removal.
But there's like white has the uncommon removal for 2. The common removal is 3. Sure, then you pay 5, but you're super happy with that. Then, especially if you put this on a good flyer, on any flyer. And then there is like also that creature. You're so scared to attack with that creature now. +0 is huge. I think it's like so much better. This was +1/+1, no lifelink. Because it's not a perfect world, right? Then like all of a sudden your flyer is a +1/+1 and it can attack through reach and other flyers. I don't know, I'm gonna give it a C. I'm actually on a C. It's a problem, like you put it on a... Black has 1 mana removal, 3 mana removal. White has a 2 mana tapped creature removal. What, you're not gonna be attacking with this one? What, you're never gonna attack with this creature? That's horrible. What, you just killed their creature and you killed your creature as well. We have Snakeskin Veil in white on uncommon. Blue, I guess, is not that good, but blue also has bounce. Like, they can bounce that creature for less mana, for more mana, sure, but you get your thing back. I guess bounce is fine. It's horrible if you target a room like this as well, right? They just get it back and then they can flip both parts. What, they just need to repay it? Oh. You can exile a token? Is that like that good? How many tokens? I don't know. I'm gonna give it a C. I'm afraid of it. Like, you can really get 2 for 1 and get fucked. And +1/+0 doesn't enable additional attacks. I don't know. C. Why am I a coward?
It's because you literally said you're afraid, so I called you a coward.
Why are you bullying me?
C for coward, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Split Skin Doll, 1 and a white for 2/1. It's an artifact creature toy. When Split Skin Doll enters, draw a card. Then discard a card unless you control another creature with power 2 or less. All right, this is interesting. So on turn 2, it's going to be difficult to keep the card, right? But you get to rummage. You get to rummage, which is already pretty dang good. Like, on its own, that's okay. Like, that's an okay place to be. But later in the game, you just get to keep it. It's not that difficult, especially in this set, to have a creature with power 2 or less.
Yeah.
Just because, like, it's a whole theme. So
Yeah.
I think this card is great. I think this card is great. It's a B- for me.
Yeah, it's great. Like, just looting is whatever, right? But drawing card is not whatever. So sure. And looting is nice if you really gotta play it. That's pretty nice. B- as well. Glimmer Seeker. That's the one. One of the cards that I'm looking for my jing Orphans of the Wheat. For 2 and white, it's a 3/3. It has survival, which says draw a card if you control a Glimmer creature. If you don't control a Glimmer creature, create a 1/1 white Glimmer enchantment creature token. So I think a good amount of 1/1s that you're making are Glimmers. But this creates a Glimmer. That's a pretty good survival thing. Now this has to be blocked. This kind of has to be blocked. I'm gonna B- for this one. I like it a lot. This one does have to be blocked.
Yeah, this is good. High upside, B- for me as well. It was called Glimmer Seeker, right?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. There's a lot of cards with Glimmer in the name, so I almost put in the wrong entry. Anyway, Patched Plaything. 2 white for a 4/3. Artifact creature toy has double strike. Patched Plaything enters with 2 -1/-1 counters on it if you cast it from your hand. Hey, look, it's the Reanimator payoff. A 3-drop. So if you cast it from your hand on curve, it's a 2/1 double strike. Not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Honestly, not the end of the world.
That's pretty good.
That's an okay card. If it ever comes back in the graveyard, which, I mean, yeah, you certainly do have Reanimators in this set. It's big. It's big. Is it like game ending? Wow, I've assembled A+B, therefore I win? No. Is it like a solid play to make? Yeah. The question is, does that offset the natural downside of having Reanimator type cards in your deck that are normally not good on their own? If you flip this up after you manifested it, it's huge because it doesn't enter, right? Because it entered face down and then it just flips face up. So that's just massive. Already quite good there. I think Patch Plaything is just a really solid 3-drop. Oh, okay, something's happening. I'm gonna stop talking.
Fuck me. How did that even get... Oh, I'm sorry everybody. I'm sorry everybody. There's a little bit of... want to see if we have bots or real people? It's okay now. It's okay now. So what do you think about the card, Scotty? Yeah, it's pretty good. Manifest Dread or get it back from the graveyard. I mean, just the 2/1 first strike is... I like it quite a lot. You can put a +1/+1 on it with a couple of white cards with an equipment that is common. Then it's a 3/2 double striker, which is kind of nice, very nice. B- as well. That's very good, and it can only get better with you getting it somehow. There are a couple of ways. That's not cast from your hand. I like Next up, Savior of the Small. Oh, that's me! 3 and a white. It's a 3/4. It's a core survivor. We're survivors. If this thing is tapped, right, it has survival. Return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand. This kind of also has to be blocked. But it's a 3/4, so it's kind of weaker, much weaker. But these are like interesting things that you gotta be blocked, right? And then the +1/+0 indestructible also works. Like, it's nice when they gotta block these things. I'm okay with this. I'm gonna C.
Me too. I was gonna give it a C. Very good.
What did we give the multicolored rare guy that searches for things? That's a 4/4.
What did we give that?
What do we give it
gave
in
that
color?
one- In color, I gave it a. It was called Rip, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to give it a B- in color, and you wanted to give it like a C. You
So
wanted
it's
to
C+?
give it a C.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's C+. Lionheart Glimmer. 3 white, 5 mana total for a 2/5 enchantment creature, Cat Glimmer. It's got Ward 2. Whenever you attack creatures you control, get +1/+1 until end of turn. Strange. I don't know why this card is strange to me. It's kind of a weird card. So you play this, enables Eerie. That's a 5-drop. The body itself is nothing. It attacks as a 3/6, I suppose. It has immediate board entries, or sorry, it has an immediate board impact when you attack, which can certainly enable a lot of attacks. So you just drop this down, and your attacks look fairly different. But it feels strangely underwhelming. I'm wondering if it'll play out better than it looks. But I'm not particularly excited about this, and I think this is a C.
I think this is gonna play out as good as it looks. I mean, whenever you attack, right? It's always. I like this a lot. I'm gonna... It's also enchantment, it's also glimmer, I guess, for something. I'm gonna C+ for this one. I like this 5-drop a lot. Or a B-? I'm gonna B- for this one. Imagine having 2 of these. This is good 5-drop. But it's also horrible on the blocks. It's really bad, you gotta be attacking. Which white's kind of doing.
It blocks like 2-drops and 3-drops pretty safely.
Yeah, 5-drop should block those. Okay, C+. I think it's a nice card, but it is a 5-drop. I think it's a pretty nice card. Maybe it's even better than that. Fear of Abduction. For 4 and double white, it's a 5/5 flyer. But as an additional cost to cast this spell, exile a creature you control. When this thing enters the battlefield, I'm gonna say it like that. I can't say enters. I can't say that. I feel like an idiot when I say it. Exile target creature on opponent controls. When Fear of Abduction leaves the battlefield, put each card exiled with it into its owner's hand. Well, you don't want to exile a token a lot of times, right? Ah, man, so you gotta exile your creature. He's gonna go back to hand. I mean, this is... You get their biggest creature. It's a 5/5. Oh, this is crazy as a reanimator. Oh, that is really good as a reanimator target. So you get your worst card out, remove the worst card, and get their best card. You can maybe remove some ETB, I guess, from you. Sometimes you're gonna be removing token just to kill them. It's also a prime target for removal, but it's also like they maybe use the removal already. I like this card. I'm on a B-.
Me too. Fear of Abduction B-.
Yeah.
It also just clocks really fast.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the 6 mana 5/5 flyer.
Kind of weird card, but cool. Room!
Hold on, intern grades. Surgical Suite and Hospital Room. Surgical Suite is 1 and a white. Hospital Room is 3 and a white. Surgical Sweep is when you unlock this door, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. And Hospital Room is whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. This is a nice lot of flex. This is a nice bit of flexibility. So we've seen effects like Surgical Sweep before in the past. The best one has shined, in my opinion, in like aggressive white decks that you know you can trade off early, so you know you can spend the mana when you want to, right? The one that gave like the Wilds of Eldraine, I think that was the best one we've seen. But that was for like aggressive strategies, and this one does care about attacking too, so I think it fits in a similar slot. But there's not so much pressure on having to trade off early, because you can just play Hospital Room on 4. Is
Yes.
Hospital Room a phenomenal card? Not really. It's a little overcosted. It's a little overcosted. But it's okay. It's okay. But it's nice that you can play it proactively,
Yeah.
and then Surgical Sweep later when they trade off. And the thing is, it's not just so. Another problem with the Surgical Sweep type of effect is that you pay the reanimation, you get the card back, and it's outclassed because it's a 3-drop by the time you're casting it. But because of Hospital Room specifically, the 3-drop hopefully scales a little bit better. So I think this is good. I think this is a good card. I'm giving this a B-.
A B-?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it as well. Like this 2 mana thing is never really good. Just for 2 mana, because like you would rather just play a 2-drop or a 3-drop, because you never know when you can actually cast this. But this time you have some other effect that is not bad if you're attacking. And I mean, all these cards make it seem like that 3/3 lifelinker might be something pretty good to play. So yeah, I'm gonna be minus as well. And then you just get something back when you need it. Yeah, I like this. I like this quite a lot. White uncommons, yeah, this is where the power is. It seems like they have continued with uncommons being very, very powerful. It seems like they continued that trend. And that's kind of fine. That's completely fine. But yeah, uncommons being much better than commons. What do you think, Scotty?
I mean, the uncommons look good. There's no like major whiffs. You know, to be honest, sometimes you see uncommons. They're like, okay, that's a constructed card. F, move on. And Unwanted Weep remake, sure, was that card, but there's mostly bangers.
It does return the engine cards. Yeah, that one. Next up, we got some rares and mythics in white. You're gonna see these cards less, so don't think too much about them while you're drafting your deck. Reluctant Role Model. For 1 and white, it's a 2/2 that has survival. Put a flying, lifelink, or a +1/+1 counter on it. On this one. Huh. When this guy or another creature you control dies, if it had counters on it, put those counters on up to 1 target creature. Oh, shit. Oh shit, that's pretty good. Is this some? This looks like this is some player from Pro Tour, but it's not, right? You know how you get your you get to design a card and you get to put your likeness into it. Well, this one looks like it's somebody.
It's probably some celebrity that they modeled off of.
Okay. So this is amazing. Like, right? Okay. First thing, like, you gotta survive, right? So, so if you attack once, you give it flying, perfect, and then you start giving it counters, maybe lifelink at one point, and then those things go somewhere else. You can also give a flying counter from your 2-drop to this one when it dies. You can also just keep it there and trade whatever, but you can other +1/+1 counters that do exist are gonna go to your other creatures. So that's kind of crazy. It does a lot for a 2-drop, but a lot of times it is just gonna be a 2-drop with some text that makes opponent hesitant to attack, so you don't get an attack into this one. So I like it a lot. I think it's a B-. Not broken completely, but in some games it's gonna feel broken.
I'll go straight up B.
Okay.
I mean, like the play patterns that you survive this, and the first thing you do is give a flying counter.
Yeah.
And then it's a nightmare. And like it's totally fine just attacking with this on turn 2 or whatever, and then having to use a combat trick. I'm willing to like use a 1 mana combat trick on my turn 3 to give this flying. Like that's fine.
Oh, you can put the -1/-1 counters. No, it's great with a double striker. You can put a -1/-1 with on their creatures.
That's hilarious.
That is hilarious. Okay, I mean that's Amonkhet
giving
throwback. All right, I can see it being a B, but I can see it I'm probably gonna pick it as a B. It's pretty great, but it does require some work, I think. Enduring Innocence, Scotty, shall you? I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. Don't hit me.
Enduring Innocence. 1 white, 3 mana for a 2/1 enchantment creature. Sheep Glimmer has lifelink, and whenever 1 or more other creatures you control with power 2 or less enter, draw a card. This ability only triggers once each turn. When Enduring Innocence dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control as an enchantment. Ooh, this is a nightmare. This is crazy. So like this, normally the body is horrible, right? But it's 3 mana. So it's not that bad. And like if your opponent's pressuring you because you only played a 3 mana 2/1 and they don't play something that can actually block it, you can just chip in for lifelink. So it's even hard to just go for the you played an understated value creature, therefore I kill you. It's even harder to do that because this has lifelink. You could also just block.
I mean, I think you want to block.
You play this, you just block. You can just chump, and then it comes back, and then you just get back. This is crazy. This is a. I think it's an A-.
This is crazy.
I'm gonna give it an A-.
So, if you trade this with anything, that's crazy powerful. But it can also be gain a shit ton of life while having this enchantment. Yeah, I'm okay with an A-. It is kind of crazy. It is very crazy, yeah. It is crazy. It's so good. I'm okay with a bomb grade on this. Sure, on its own, it's might not do that much, but it's so easy to make it amazing. Like, wow. You don't have to work for it. You just play it at most of the times in the game. No paying. Wait. What happened to the mentor? The 2/2 for 3, where you had to pay 1 mana to draw a card. And it was a 2/2, and when he died, he didn't come back, and he didn't have lifelink. Oh my god.
I mean, they downshifted that card. It says what they think about it.
Yeah, they made it an uncommon, right? Split up. For 1 and double white, choose 1. Destroy all tapped creature or destroy all untapped creatures. Oh! Oh ho ho! Oh! Ho 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 ho! This is interesting. So, if opponent attacks with a couple of creatures, which is not that easy, you just kill him. If opponent doesn't attack, you just swing all, and then some of your things might survive, but all of their things are gonna die. So when is there a problem? When is this
There's a problem when there's a relatively your opponent's on the verge of stabilizing or just starting to stabilize. They're attacking you with a really large evasive threat to finish off the game like a flyer, and then that stays around while the rest of their board leaves.
But you just 3 mana kill that problem.
That's true. That's pretty good.
Okay, I'm gonna B+ for this one because it maybe even A- because it's such a high upside, and the downside is that it's an okay one, or like the floor is like it's probably gonna kill something that's attacking you. Floor is fine. The ceiling is crazy.
I've got it. Your opponent has a vehicle.
Ah, they have only vehicles.
No, they have 1 vehicle.
Ah, they have 1 vehicle. And then you don't kill the vehicle. That doesn't seem like a problem. A B+,
wait.
This is great.
No, it's a vehicle. Wait, hold on, roll back. They have 1 vehicle. How do you... And they have untapped creatures.
You attack with everything?
Yeah.
Oh wait, they have a vehicle? Ah.
Yeah, they have a vehicle.
And they tap. And then you're hoping that they don't know, and then they can tap all of their creatures, right?
Yeah, they can just tap all their creatures.
Oh, that's pretty cool. But I guess their vehicle dies then.
It's true, their vehicle dies.
Okay, what do you think?
A minus.
A minus? Oh, I can see that. I can see
Yeah, I think
that.
this card's super good.
I'm
this
gonna
card's
start
super,
it as a
super
B plus though. It is crazy.
Toby, Beastie Befriender. 2 and a white for 3 mana, 1/1. It's a human wizard. When Toby, Beastie Befriender enters, create a 4/4 white beast creature token with this creature can't attack or block alone. As long as you control 4 or more creature tokens you control have flying. There are some Glimmer tokens, right? You can create some Glimmer tokens, but I do still think that getting to 4 is going to be not trivial. But I mean, ignore that. It's a 4/4 that can't attack or block. That's fine. You know, you have other creatures. You don't have to throw Toby under the bus here. But frankly speaking, you could throw Toby under the bus once.
Yeah. That's you and me. That's you and me. And you would throw me. You would throw me.
Yeah, like you just let Baby Lola die, okay, and then you just have another replacement for Baby Lola. It doesn't even matter what it is, just any body, you know. You could just replace Lola with like a walking sack of meat, and it would be basically the same thing afterwards. This is really good.
I'm ready to sacrifice for the greater good, for you.
Yeah.
Because I love you.
So, I think this is a B.
It's great. I'm gonna be as well. It is legendary, right? No, it's not legendary, so you can have more. You're expendable. I'm only one. Ha! You can also get it back from the graveyard. Maybe, is there Blink or something? Yeah, it's great. B. At least B. At least a B. Unidentified hover ship. For 1 and double white, it's a 2/2 flyer. Vehicle. With crew 1. When it enters, exile up to 1 target creature with toughness 5 or less. So that's basically anything. When this thing leaves the battlefield, the exiled card's owner manifests dread. Oh! So they don't get it back really. Oh, that's pretty great. Kills basically any creature. And they get something probably worse. And you get a flyer with crew 1. This is very good. I'm gonna B, but not a B plus because it's not a creature. No, wait. Yeah, B. Very good card. B.
B for very good card.
B, very booby.
Leyline of Hope, 2 white for an enchantment. If Leyline of Hope is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. When you gain life, you gain that much life plus 1 instead. As long as you have at least 7 more life than your starting total, creatures you control get +2/+2. F.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, F.
Okay, Lola. How many cult healers do you need to have to play this card?
Is the Cult Healer a 3/3 lifelinker?
Yeah, I think so. I might have gotten the name wrong. But
There is no, that number doesn't exist. It's not 2. It's not a lot. It's not 0. It's not 20. It's not 5. There's no number. There's no answer to that question. You don't play this. But Ghostly Dancers, being a 3 and double white, 2/5 flyer, that when they enter the battlefield, return an enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand or unlock a locked door of a room you control. It has Eerie. Create a 3/1 flyer? That's it? You fucking with
what
me?
the heck?
No legendary? Is that like 3/1 flyer? Holy fuck.
It has an ETB, what the world?
And it, yeah, what the hell? And it also like unlocks a door so you can get it right away and unlock that door. Or even better, I don't know if it's even better, but you also can get any enchantment from your graveyard to your hand. Any. Okay, this is the best card so far. This is an A+, and this is gonna be one of the best cards in the set. What is this? Scotty? Okay. Wow.
It's also just a rare, not a mythic. So GG, yes.
Oh no, this is an rare. Oh.
The Wandering Rescuer, 3 white for a 3/4 legendary creature, human samurai noble. Has flash and convoke. And double strike. Other tapped creatures you control have hexproof. So convoke is great for survivors. Flashing in a double striker is probably going to eat something. And it can also serve as a protection against removal. So the protection against removal is, I mean, we could dream about that happening, but the timing of that is probably not gonna happen that often. I mean, it could, right? But it's a small window. It also just means that once you're attacking, right? Like if, for example, if you're pressuring your opponent's sorcery spear to removal is just never gonna touch them. But
wait, what is the narrow timing? What is the narrow timing?
Oh, it's the narrow timing of you actually being able to ambush a removal spell with this. Like, because it's often, like, if you're holding on to this, it's probably a mistake. You probably just want to cast it.
Yeah, I mean, there's that one turn where you can do it, but...
Yeah.
But you're always going to just cast it, right?
Yeah, just cast it, yeah. So, that's what I meant by narrow timing.
Yeah.
This is very, very strong. This is an A- for me.
Yeah, this is a bomb. It's like also very good with survival, right? It's so good with survival.
Yep.
It's also double strike, right? So it's so good to play and just block. And you can safely use tricks. I mean, okay, there is this timing where you can attack or block and use a trick when it feels like they have a removal spell, and then they use it and they're like, beep, you just tap and gives hexproof. I mean, it's so nice. It is so nice. A-, yeah, sure. A? I'm okay with an A. Oh, this is so good. A. I think it's a bomb. It's just too much tempo, I think. And works with well, just works with any deck. Dazzling Theater. For 3 and a white. It's a room. The first part is the Dazzling Theater. The creature spells you cast have convoke. Okay. For 2 and a white, untap each creature you control during each other player's untap step. Okay, that's horrible. That's horrible. This is not worth a full card. If you are in a green-white deck with a crap ton of uncommons, common survivors are... This is not good for common survivors, that's for sure. Like, this is not good. But for... If you have a crap ton, I guess you can play it, I guess... F. Just give it an F. I mean, maybe it's gonna be one deck where you can put it, but F. Scotty?
F. Overlord of the Mistmoors, 5 white, 7 mana total for a 6/6 enchantment creature avatar horror. It has impending 4 for 2 white. Impending means if you cast this spell for its impending cost, it enters with 4 time counters and isn't a creature until the last is removed. At the beginning of your end step, remove a time counter from it. Whenever Overlord of the Mistmoors enters or attacks, create 2/1 white insect creature tokens with flying. So on turn 4, you just get 2/1 white creature tokens.
An enchantment?
And then later, it just becomes a 6/6 super bomb. It doesn't enter again. So let's talk about rules. It doesn't enter again.
But it can attack.
It cannot attack the turn it comes off impending because it's end step.
Oh.
Yeah, so your opponent gets an entire turn cycle to remove it at sorcery speed. And then it can attack after that. So a little bit less good. Yeah. But it's still, I mean, this is still really, really strong. I still think this is I still think this is an A.
Yeah, this is crazy good. Like 4 mana 2/1 flyers is like a B+ at least. And it gives you Eerie right away because it's enchantment. Isn't that like a B+?
It's pretty close, yeah. I'd probably give it a B.
Yeah, but then you got like either impending and at one point you get it. You paid 4 mana for it, yeah. Nice. Or when you have 7, you just play it. You get a 6/6 2/1s and attack. Like, I think this is an A, at least. A or an A+. I'm gonna give it an A, but I can see A+. This fucking ends the games. Maybe A+. Let's give it an A. But it's one of those. It's crazy. It's crazy powerful. The last mythic in white. Dollmaker's Shop. It's a room for 1 and a white. Whenever one or more non-toy creatures you control attack a player, create a 1/1 white toy artifact creature token. And for 6 mana you can unlock that door. Creatures you control have base power and toughness each equal to the number of creatures you control. That's kind of fucked. So you just play it for 2 and start getting 1/1s? And then at one point, if that's good, you just make all of your creatures pretty huge. If it's good, right? If it's good. I kind of want to give this an A+ and the other card A+ as well. Is this an A or an A+? Probably an A?
I think this is an A.
A? Yeah, they grow every attack as well. And you have +1/+1 counters, right? In white. Kind of funny that this thing could make a large creature into a 1/1. But then it attacks and it's a 2/2. A that does nothing if you're behind. I mean, you're getting, if you're attacking, you're getting a 1/1 to chump every turn. It's a dead card on empty board. I kind of don't care. I don't care. It's so good. I don't care that it's dead on empty board. Most boards are not going to be empty. If you're behind and you're attacking, you can attack, yes. If you're dead behind, like, you can attack and get a 1/1 to chump. So you attack, you chump. You attack, you chump. So it's not even does really nothing. I'm on an A. This is crazy powerful. But what are you giving it? What do you think, Scotty?
I think it's an A. I think it's an A-.
Okay. I kind of want to give this
It
Titan
has,
an
like,
A+. I give this an A+.
Okay.
It's just, it's just crazy. Okay. Boss. I am